Hello, it's Casey. Before we get into anything clever, let me tell you what happened to me this morning. I was in a busy cafe near the station, proper rush hour. The queue was almost out the door. I rehearsed my order in my head again and again. Flat white, oat milk, takeaway. But when it was my turn, my mouth went dry.
Hello, I'm Jan, and welcome to Mind the Gap, the podcast where we take everyday English worries and turn them into something lighter. Casey, I have to say, that cafe story sounds very familiar.
I started thinking, is it oat milk or oats milk? Do I say a flat white or just flat white? Should I say for takeaway or to takeaway? And because I was busy correcting myself, I said nothing for a second too long. The barista smiled, but I could feel people behind me shifting. In the end, I whispered, could I have a flat white? Oat milk, please. She understood straight away. I paid, stepped aside, and thought, so why did I panic? I knew the words.
That moment is familiar for so many people. It isn't because you don't know English, it's because your brain is busy checking rules while your voice is trying to start. We were trained to avoid mistakes, so we pause, and the pause makes us doubt ourselves even more. Actually, in a cafe, you don't need perfect grammar, you need a clear message. If the message is clear, coffee, this size, this milk, takeaway, the job is done. The point of English there is to get your drink, not to pass an exam at the till.
Right, and when she gave me the cup, she said, oat flat white? I said, yes, that's me. So even with my little wobble, the result was fine. If I'd just had a go a second earlier, it would have been no big deal at all.
And that's our focus today. We're shifting from be correct first to be clear first. Because when you put clarity before correctness, you speak sooner, you breathe better, and funnily enough, your grammar improves faster afterwards.
So if you're listening and thinking, I always wait for the perfect sentence, this episode is for you. We won't chase flawless lines, we'll build a calm way to speak, even when a word is missing.
Because confidence isn't magic, it's a habit. You make your point, then tidy it if needed. If something comes out messy, you just try again. Let me say that another way. That simple line keeps the conversation moving.
And when your brain starts shouting, is this right? Remind yourself, message first, then breathe and speak. If it helps, picture the drink on the counter with your name on it. That's the goal, not a perfect grammar score.
So we'll keep that idea with us today. Clarity first, then corrections. In a moment, we'll look at why we fear mistakes in the first place, because once we understand the fear, it's much easier to move past it.
Right, let me be honest. The cafe moment wasn't a one-off. I do it in other places too. Meetings, phone calls, even when a neighbour stops me at the lift. I know what I want to say, but I hold my breath because I'm busy checking every little word in my head. And it started years ago at school. Red pen on the page, circles round my mistakes, big crosses in the margin. Because mistakes meant less marks, my brain learnt to see them as danger. So later, when I speak, I dodge the danger by staying quiet for a second too long.
That's such a common pattern. We train for exams, so we optimize for not being wrong. But conversation isn't an exam, it's a moving queue. If you pause for too long, your turn slides past and someone else steps in. The cost isn't a mark on paper, it's time, clarity, and sometimes confidence. Because when you hesitate, your working memory fills up with grammar checks. Then your sentence gets longer, not clearer. You start stacking clauses, because, which, and also, hoping that if you include everything, at least something will be correct. Ironically, the message gets buried.
I do exactly that. If I'm late, I try to sound clever. Because yesterday evening there was rather heavy traffic, which I believe may cause me to arrive slightly later than planned. It feels safe, but it's a maze.
And the clear version is short. I might be 10 minutes late, traffic's heavy. Same message, fewer moving parts. So this is the heart of it. Clear versus correct. Correctness is about rules. Clarity is about results. In real life, results come first.
I can see that. When I said oat milk at the counter, that was enough. But in my head, I still wanted the perfect sentence, as if the barista was a judge with a clipboard.
Exactly. Because school taught us that mistakes equal penalty, our bodies treat them like a threat. So we either go silent or we build a very long sentence to hide inside. Both routes slow everything down. The listener waits and meaning drifts. Here's a simple shift. Message first, polishing later. Say the core, then, if needed, add one detail, then stop. For instance, meeting moved to 3, I'll send the link. That's clean. If there's time, you can add, by the way, it's a shorter agenda.
So I don't need to sound impressive. I need to be understood. That takes the pressure off straight away.
And once pressure drops, accuracy actually improves because your breathing returns and your words line up. It's like steadying your hands before you write. You've produced fewer smudges simply because you're calmer.
There's also the memory of being corrected mid-sentence. A teacher jumps in, a class laughs a bit, and your chest tightens. After that, you try not to risk it.
Yes, and that's why many adults speak less than they can. But we're not in that classroom now. If you trip over a word, it's no big deal. You can simply park the mistake and keep the message moving. Sorry, one more time. Then give the clean version.
I like that idea. Park the mistake. It feels practical. Because waiting for the perfect sentence is like waiting for a bus that changed route. By the time you notice, the moment's gone.
So let's name the symptoms clearly. Silence or sentences that wander. And the cost is clear too. Slower conversations, more confusion, less confidence next time. Because of that, our fix can't just be more grammar. It has to be a new habit. Message first, then tidy.
That feels doable. And it sounds kinder as well. Less pressure, more purpose.
Good. Hold on to that. In a moment, we'll look at how to treat mistakes like rounds in a game, so you can have a go, learn fast, and keep the flow without the panic.
Right, so let me paint you 2 quick scenes. First, a small corner shop near my flat. The cashier's English is basic. Short phrases, warm smile, card or cash, bag, receipt. She points, waits, nods. 30 seconds later, the queue moves, everyone's sorted, no drama. Second scene, a shiny meeting room. A consultant, brilliant English, very polished, says, given the broader strategic considerations, what we might potentially contemplate is a provisional framework subject to alignment. It sounds impressive, but people glance at each other and whisper, so, what are we doing?
I've been in that room. You leave with lovely sentences and no action. It's like eating air. Pretty plate, no food.
Exactly, and that's the point. Correct can still be confusing, but clear gets things done. The cashier isn't chasing perfect grammar. She's guiding tiny journey. Pay, bag, receipt, done. In plain English, clarity wins because life runs on outcomes.
And the consultant? Everything is correct, but the meaning floats. No next step, no deadline, no owner.
To be clear, I'm not mocking good English. I love good English. But when sounding good replaces being understood, we've lost the plot. So if you feel your sentence is growing longer and longer, that's a sign you're polishing the wrong thing.
I do that when I'm nervous. I add more words because I hope something inside the pile will be right. But the pile becomes a wall.
So let's borrow the cashier's style for a second. Watch this. Consultant version. Given the broader strategic considerations, we might contemplate a provisional framework. Plain English version. Let's test a simple plan this week, and then I'll draft it by Friday. Same idea, but now people can move.
That lands because there's a time, a person, and a thing to do. No missed.
Here's another tiny swap you can try straight away. If your mouth wants to say, what we might potentially consider, stop and ask, what do I actually want them to do? Then say that. Could you send the slides by 2? It's still polite, still British enough, just clear.
So, clear first, correct next, right? Say the message, then tidy if there's room.
Yes, because clarity shortens the distance between brains. Once that distance is short, accuracy is easier to add, like tightening a lid that's already on straight. But if the lid is crooked, polishing the edge won't help.
Can we try one more everyday swap? The kind you'd use in a queue or on the phone?
Sure. Fancy sentence. I was wondering whether you might possibly be available to discuss the document at some stage later today. Clear version. Are you free to talk about the document this afternoon? And if you need a cushion, if not, no worries. Tomorrow works.
That sounds calmer, not colder.
Exactly, because clarity isn't rude, it's respectful. You're saving people's time and giving them a fair chance to respond. To be clear, manners still matter. Tone, please, a soft start like, could you? But the spine of the sentence is the message.
So if I catch myself building a long sentence, I can just pause, grab the message, and say that. Then, if needed, add one detail.
That's the habit. And because you're listening to a language podcast, here's a tiny rhythm you can practice. Message, breath, add. Meeting moved to 3. Link coming shortly. It feels simple, but it's the difference between fog and a clear path.
I like that. And it explains why the cashier wins. Short path, clear steps. Everyone goes home with the right bag.
Right, so we've seen the contrast. Polished but foggy versus simple and clear. In a moment, we'll show you how to build clarity even when you make a slip. Treating mistakes like rounds in a game so you can have a go, tidy up, and keep the flow.
All right, game time. When I used to play, the moment I lost a life, I'd hit exit, rage quit. But later I realised the big button I needed was retry. And that changed how I think about English too. When I slip on a word now, I don't treat it like game over. I just think, new round, same level, try again.
That's a useful switch. Because in games, a mistake isn't a judgment, it's information. You learn the timing, you spot the pattern, you tweak the move. Language works the same way. If a sentence misfires, it's not a verdict on you, it's feedback on the sentence. So rather than quitting, we shorten the round and go again.
And shorter rounds feel safer. If the first line is messy, I just nudge it into shape instead of apologizing for half a minute.
Exactly. So here's how a round can sound in real life, without turning it into a checklist. You aim, you fire, and if it's wide, you adjust. Keep the focus on the message, not the mistake.
Let's use directions. London on a rainy evening. I stop a passerby and say, "Excuse me, I'm endeavouring to ascertain whether the Northern Line, which I suppose might be operating from possibly this entrance." You can hear the panic.
New round. Try this. Hi, Northern Line to Euston, is it this way? If their face looks blank, nudge again. Sorry, Tube, Euston, this entrance. And then the listener check. Does that make sense?
That feels human. No poetry, just the target. And even if I trip, I can say, let me try that again. Euston, Northern Line. This way?
And notice the psychology. You didn't apologize for existing, you simply repointed the arrow. That's the game mindset. The miss tells you where to aim next.
Can we try a work call too? I always make it too long when I want to book a meeting.
Go on, first round.
Given everyone's availability, I was wondering whether we might possibly have the chance to schedule a preliminary discussion at some point later this week.
New round. Could we meet Thursday at 3? If not, Friday morning works. I'll send a link. If you need polish, add it after the hit. Thanks, appreciate it.
That lands. It's clean and there's a path to yes or no.
And here's why this speeds up learning. Short rounds reduce panic, which frees your breathing. With your breath back, your words line up. Then accuracy improves, not because you chased it, but because you were calm enough to notice it.
So instead of perfect or nothing, it's next round, please.
Exactly. And to keep rounds short, give yourself tiny missions, one idea at a time. For directions, place plus line plus check. Euston, Northern Line, this way. For work, time plus action plus promise. Thursday 3, discuss the draft, I'll send the link. Then stop. Let the other person play their round.
I like that. It feels like passing the controller.
And if you do stumble, park it with one friendly line. Sorry, one more go. Or let me say that another way. Those phrases are your retry button.
Right. New mindset noted. Next time I wobble, I won't vanish. I'll just respawn and try again.
That's the heart of it. A mistake isn't a full stop, it's the next round loading. Keep the message moving and your English will level up as you play. In a moment, we'll widen the lens and talk about English as a tool, why clarity, brevity, and relevance make every round easier.
So let's zoom out for a second. On trains, in airports, on Zoom, most English you hear isn't between native speakers. It's people from different countries trading ideas, booking rooms, fixing small problems. In those moments, English behaves like a tool, not a trophy.
That matches my week. Our team chat has colleagues in Spain, India, and Poland. No one's writing poetry. We're trying to get lunch times, file names, and links right. If the message lands, the day moves.
Exactly. And because English is a tool, the useful test isn't, do I sound like a native, but do they understand me? When you judge by understanding, your priorities change. First clarity, then brevity, then relevance.
How do you feel that in real life, though?
Clarity is the spine. Say the point early. Brevity trims the extras. Keep only the words that carry weight. Relevance keeps you on track. Say the bit that helps them act. In plain English, point first, short and useful.
Let me try one. Fancy version. I was wondering whether you might be able to organise a brief overview session regarding the new platform features. Clear version. Could you set up a 15-minute overview on the new features?
Lovely. And notice the British bits, organise with an S. Also, if you're talking about practice, remember the spelling split. Practice the verb, practice the noun. I'll practice tonight before the practice test.
And real life throws accents and background noise at you. At uni, the corridor was loud. We still got things done with short lines. Room change, B2O tray. Copy the link? Thanks, queue's huge.
Now,
If you're preparing for IELTS, this mindset helps. Examiners listen for task response and coherence. Can you answer the thing asked and keep your ideas linked? They don't require 0 mistakes, so you aim for a clear message with a steady line through it.
Right. So instead of polishing every comma, I could show structure. Firstly, secondly, in the end. It's not poetry, but it's a map.
Exactly. And you can rephrase if you lose a word. What I mean is, in other words, to be clear, these keep the thread visible. Also, examples sell your point faster than adjectives. I like volunteer work. Last month, I helped a local organization at the food bank.
Can we do a tiny demo like before? The tool version versus the trophy version?
All right, trophy version. Considering the considerable cultural implications, one might reasonably posit that public art is of paramount significance. Tool version. Public art matters. It brings people together. For example, the mural near my flat made our streets safer.
The second one breathes. There's a point, it's short, and it's about the listener's world.
That's the heart of using English as a tool. You shape it for the job in front of you. For emails, a tidy subject line. For calls, one clear question at a time. For meetings, who does what by when. And for study, you practice the moves you actually need.
So the goal isn't sound perfect, it's build a path. If the path is clear, people will walk it, even if a few stones aren't polished.
Exactly. Keep those 3 words in your pocket. Clarity, brevity, relevance. They travel well from the ticket desk to the exam room. In a moment, we'll bring everything home with a simple action plan you can start this week.
Right, so we've come a fair way today. We started with that tiny panic at the till, wandered through long sentences and fog, then tried the day mindset. And you know what keeps coming back? Not be perfect, but be understood.
Exactly. If there's one shift worth taking home, it's this. Move from avoiding mistakes to creating understanding. Because once understanding happens, the rest, polish, grammar, style, can follow without fear.
And the lovely thing is, you don't need grand techniques to do it. In normal life, it sounds like this. Say what you mean, and if it lands a bit wonky, say it again. Cleaner, shorter.
Let's make it real. Picture a cafe, busy morning. You speak, the barista frowns. You don't apologize for a whole paragraph. You just nudge the message. Large latte, no sugar. If the face clears, good. If not, one gentle check. Is that clear? Then you move on with your drink and your day.
Or a phone call at work. Hell, you start too fancy. Fine. You breathe and you try the map version. Could we meet Thursday at 3? If not, Friday morning works. People hear that and know where to go.
Because clarity, brevity, and relevance aren't classroom tricks, they're everyday kindness. You're saving the other person's time and giving them a fair shot at saying yes or no.
And if a word goes missing, I don't vanish anymore. I just say, let me say that another way, and I tidy the line. It's amazing how often that tiny sentence keeps things moving.
Right, so here's a picture to keep in your pocket. Imagine 2 arrows. The first arrow is your message, short, honest, aimed at the listener. The second arrow is the tidy up, only if you need it. Most days, the first arrow is enough to reach the target.
That makes me think of our earlier scenes. The cashier, the consultant, the rainy street. The people who got results weren't the most decorated. They were the clearest.
Exactly. And if you're practicing for an exam, remember this. Examiners don't live inside your grammar, they live inside your ideas. Give them a line they can follow, and most of the marks you want will sit right there along the path.
So what do we do tomorrow morning then?
Keep it small and human.
Pick one moment, ordering coffee, booking a slot, asking for directions. Say the thing you actually mean. If it wobbles, try it again in plainer English. And if you're not sure it landed, ask kindly, "All good?" Then carry on.
No drum rolls, no lectures, just a calm habit.
And if you need a pocket line for tough days, take this one. No rush, have a go. Your message matters more than the mistakes. Say it to yourself before you speak. You'll hear your own shoulders drop.
All right, that's us for today. Thanks for listening to Mind the Gap. If this episode helped you breathe a little and speak a little, do tap like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs a gentle nudge. We'll see you next weekend. Cheers!